Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, Chautauqua Sunrise is going to be a little tricky this morning because the fog was pretty thick. I don't know how it is out your way, but it was a little slow go to get here from the along the lakeshore area. But it's okay. It's springtime, and it's all part of the deal here. I want to say good afternoon to all our listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown. Thanks for tuning in, and we have, as always, I think, a very informative show coming up for you. We're going to be talking about veteran services here with Greg Carlson. He's in the green room getting ready to come on stage here to join me into the studio. So stick around. And always, if you are listening now or watching now, if you can't watch the whole show, you can always find us on YouTube and just put in Chautauqua Sunrise, and then you can put the guest's last name or the date or something like that, and it brings it right up for you. Also, if you want to see the show throughout the week, you can also watch us at 2 and 8 on channel 1301, and that's especially for our friends over in Jamestown area that are listening right now. You can see what I look like. Okay, well, I hope that you're enjoying the warmer weather anyways. It took a long time, didn't it? But it seems like somebody flipped a switch and all the birds came in all at the same time into our area, and they are unbelievable this year. We have Baltimore Orioles and red-breasted grosbeaks and goldfinches. They must come in together on the same airplane or something. I don't know, but they're swarming the backyard at the feeders and the suet and so forth. And I just think it's spectacular. And the chipmunks somehow woke up, and the squirrels are all flying around chasing the blue jays, and so it's quite a circus every morning out on the back porch there. Jeff popped up something as a reminder that this is a live call-in show, and if you do want to ask a question, make an announcement, whatever, give us a call at 753-5225. You can Twitter us, you can email us, you can stop here at the studio and ask a question. They send me questions throughout the show sometimes through either on paper or through my earpiece, so don't hesitate. And for those that are listening later in the week on the radio, you can always contact us through our Facebook page and so forth. So don't hesitate. We'd like to hear from you. Let's see what else I have. We want to remind you that the Three Amigos, get it ready, Jeff, here it comes. We are gearing up for the Ride for Roswell in June, and that would be Jeff Zook and Randy Burt and myself, and we formed a team called the Chautauqua Sunrisers. This will be our second year riding together, and this will be June 22nd. In fact, we're not going to even be in the studio that morning. We're going to pre-tape a show, and we're going to be riding a 34-mile ride up in the country towards Clarence, I believe, and looking forward to that. I got to get my bike out, though. The weather's been horrendous for riding along the lakeshore the last week or so, so hopefully tomorrow I can get some miles in. But anyways, if you're so inclined, go to the roswell.org, I believe it is, or Ride for Roswell, and you can look up riders and look up the Chautauqua Sunrisers or any one of our names. And if you want to donate $5, $10, whatever dollars, we would appreciate it. And you can look us up by team or by rider. So we are raising money for Roswell for the cure for cancer. Okay, I have a lot of announcements to share with you. And you know, it's amazing. A lot of the events that are taking place today, May 4th. And then, of course, there's other things that are taking place throughout the month coming up. But I noticed when I was going through my notes that a lot are taking place today. So if you're watching live right now, you might be interested in taking note of some of these. But before we get to that, I do want to have a moment to talk about a golf tournament. I don't even know if it's a golf tournament. They're calling it a golf outing. And it's being sponsored by the Rotary Club of Jamestown, the Morning Club. And they are going to have a little outing on June 1st. And it's at Willow Run. It's a 9-hole course. It's only $22 a person. It's going to be a scramble shotgun start at 8:30, and they're inviting friends and relatives of Rotarians and guests to join in. It's a fundraiser, and they are benefiting the Jamestown YWCA. And that's what Rotary often does, is they'll earmark a particular organization they want to support, and then they have a little fundraiser. If you're interested to participate, give Scott Sawyer a call. He's the president of the club, or co-president, I think he told me, at 720-0094. Again, it's 720-0094, Scott Sawyer, and he'll tell you all about it and get you registered. So, Rotarian Golf Outing, June 1st at Willow Run. Okay, let's go a little deeper into Jamestown, and my good friends at Infinity Arts Cafe have 3 things they want me to tell you about. So let's start with their Infinity Arts Cafe. They would like you to join them on May 17th at 7 p.m. at the Infinity Arts Cafe. The cafe has been renovated thanks to a grant from the Hultquist Foundation. Students from the Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Center will be showcasing their talents at a Kaleidoscope Night performance. Kaleidoscope nights are ever-changing but interesting because they're a mix of a variety of performers such as music, poetry, dance, theaters. The Infinity instructors will be involved, and they may even invite some guests to participate or perform. The show is always different. The event is free, family-friendly, and open to the public. And if you're interested, give me a call at 664-0991. That's May 17th at 7 p.m. Also, they want you to know their annual spring showcase is coming up, and that's on June 8th. It's being sponsored by the Schultz Auto Group and will be taking place at the Jamestown High School Auditorium at 7 p.m. Again, that's June 8th. The performance will feature an array of dynamic performances by students who study at Infinity Visual and Performing Arts. Pre-sale tickets are on sale now at the Infinity Center or at online. And this is all one word, infinityperformingarts.org/shop. For tickets, only $7. Tickets will also be available on the day of the event for $10. Wow, good discount there. All children under 18 will be admitted free of charge. And finally, they want you to know the 16th annual Local Music Showcase. Now, y'all know that I talk about this every year, and I think I've been in 8 of these so far, so more than half of these. This is a call for local musicians to register for the Infinity's 16th Annual Local Music Showcase to be held on September 7th. The reason why I'm mentioning it is because it's a call for musicians right now. We'll talk more about the showcase later, but it's a big, huge fundraiser. They make lots of money that night, and local musicians donate about an hour of their time, and it's usually at 10 to 12 different venues throughout Jamestown. And you can just move about the city, different places. If you want to hear heavy rock, you go here. If you want to hear country, you go there. If you want to hear acoustic rock, go over here, and so forth. And I think there's like, I don't know, 40 or 50 different groups that donate their time. So super, super special evening, 16th Annual Local Music Showcase, calling all musicians. Sign up, guys. I think we already are. Okay, we have some slides here and lots of other things to talk about. So today, last call. It's the 100th anniversary of the Jamestown PM Rotary Club, and they are holding their gala event, their 100th year, boy oh boy, and that's going to be over at the Chautauqua Harbor Hotel. So I guess I'll just give the final phone number of information for you. It's 673-5214, and you can get a hold of Katie Geis if you want more information. It's $100 a person. It's a fundraiser, and there's going to be some raffles, and it's going to be a great night. So last time on that one, congratulations, Jamestown, on your 100th anniversary. Hope you have a great evening. Okay, let's go to Westfield. The Westfield Memorial Hospital Auxiliary is sponsoring today, just in about 47 minutes. They're having their Shred It event, the Shred Fest. And this is going to be held from 10 a.m. to noon at the Westfield Memorial Hospital parking lot. It's $10 per container. So you go in your basement and you go pull out all those income tax forms from 1990 that you don't need anymore, because I talked to my CPA, 7 years is all you need to go back. So that's 2012. So anything before that, grab the stuff, put it in bags or whatever, fill up containers. They'll destroy them. They shred them so nobody can ever figure out who you are, what you did for a living, and of course it's sponsored by the auxiliary, and the benefits go to the hospital. They do some really great work there. All right, let's go on now. We have an art show that's finishing up today, last day, the Writers Cup Coffee Art Show. Okay, is being held at 28 Chautauqua Avenue at Writers Cup Coffee, and it's going to go on from 7 this morning, so it's just started till 5:30 this evening, and it's featuring paintings, ceramics, photography created by the talented artists at the Michael J. Raymond Center Alternatives and Discoveries Day programs. So that should be really fun, but again, today's the last day, so if you have little time, stop down at the Writers Cup Coffee and see some really great works by some really cool people. Okay, again, today, the 2019 Vintage Book and Paper Show and Sale returns to Westfield. Today, the annual event takes place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., so you got time to get over there, at the Westfield's Easton Hall, 23 Elm Street, featuring a room full of dealers. I went there last year, and it was really pretty intriguing. You got people that specialize in posters, books, maps, anything that is in a form of paper, and they're buying and they're selling. And I brought a couple of prints that I had no idea what they were. I thought they were going to be like one of my inheritances that I was going to take a world trip on, and they told me they were worth like $10 a piece. So anyways, but information's important, and they're there to help you out. So if you have any questions, you can give them a call at 326-2977. It's only $5 to get in, and the proceeds go to the Chautauqua County Historical Society and its programs. So that's, again, today at Easton Hall in Westfield, paper and book vintage sale and show. All right, let's see, what do we got here? Okay. For the second year in a row, the Chautauqua County Visitors Bureau and the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce are pleased to partner on a major event. Wine and Dine Chautauqua will incorporate the Chamber's traditional Grape Expectations wine tasting event in the Visitors Bureau's annual dinner meeting to be held on Friday, May 10th. So that's the end of this week, coming up at the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center in Dunkirk. All right, the Dunkirk Fredonia Community Chambers and Chautauqua County Chamber will host this event. from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Lighthouse Ballroom. This portion of the evening is open to all who choose to attend and will feature local wineries, vendors, appetizers, and prizes. Sponsors for Great Expectations include the City of Dunkirk, Fredonia Technology Incubator, Hometown Insurance, Jamestown Community College North County Center, Lakeshore Savings Bank, and Larson Timko Funeral Home. For more information, give them a call at, let's see here, 357-4569 or 366-6200. And again, that's this coming Friday, May 10th at the Clarion Hotel. Sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, coming up, this is kind of interesting. I guess they've done this in the past, but this was kind of new to me. This is going to take you over to Westfield, and they're going to have a Lincoln Festival, Remembering Lincoln. And as you know, there's some real history there with Grace Bedell suggesting that President Lincoln grow a beard. So there's that statue of both of them. Well, anyways, this is going to be held on Friday, June 7th, at their First Friday event from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. There's going to be the Westfield wine bottle reveal. Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd will be out on the street. They have some actors that come in and do this sort of thing. Sounds like a lot of fun. Pictures with Lincoln all weekend, throughout the weekend. And of course, there's going to be music, and there's going to be street vendors, and the pubs are going to be open. It's just going to be a fun night. Visit local Lincoln displays at the Patterson Library, and Clarko's has some things there, and the Lakeshore Center for the Arts, and there's going to be music in the gazebo. All right, and I've been told I skipped a page, so let me see where I skipped a page here. So it must be on 4. All right, so let's go back to page 4. Wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Okay, so we're going to head back to page 4 of my notes, which is slide 19. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, how can I do that to my own hometown? All right, next Saturday, a really fun event. It's called the Untouchables Live and in Concert. This is a band in Chautauqua County. They're going to be at the Quincy Cellars from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets are $25. Now, this is a fundraiser for that'll benefit the Ripley Library Building Fund. And if you're interested, give them a call about tickets, 736-3913. And there's going to be food, fun. They say the band is lots of fun. I actually played with the saxophone player years ago in another setting over at Ripley, Jeff Julian and Company. So again, Saturday, May 11th, only $25 a person. It's a fundraiser, should be lots of fun. Staying right in Ripley, a special event that takes place every year, and I don't even know how many years it's been. It's got to be maybe somewhere about in the upper teens of years that they've done this. The Ripley's Women's Club Annual Spring Banquet. Now I know there's a lot of information on there, but I'll give you the lowdown. Basically, it's going to be held at Meter's Dining Room right there in downtown Ripley. It's going to be held Thursday, May 16th. Buffet starts at 6 p.m., only $20 per person. They put on a great spread for you and right through dessert. Reservations are asked if you can make them, and I'm looking for a phone number, so if anybody sees a phone number, let me know. I can't see any phone number. Oh, there it is, 252-6542. That's Pete Ryan. Okay, they don't have it on this piece of paper here, but what this is in Ripley, all the heads of all the organizations, not only in Ripley but in the surrounding areas, come and they talk about what happened in the last year or so. So whether it's a cemetery group, if it's a school, the fire department, the library, any organization, the women's club, they talk about what's going on, and they have guest speakers like Andy Goodell, and Catherine Young has been there in the past. I'm sure George Borrello will be there, and they talk about the various things that are happening in town, and the town board, various initiatives are going on. Great evening, been there many, many years, and I will be performing quietly in the background, just some instrumental music. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What to do about challenging behavior. Okay, this is a free workshop to be held on June 1st at the Boys and Girls Club of Jamestown. It's sponsored by CASIC, and it's recommended for family and caregivers of children with disabilities. And let's see here. I'm looking real quick. So you can just look up CASIC. Oh, there's the number. It is, oh my gosh, can you read it for me? 332-4170. And it's going to be held from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's free of charge. So lots of good programs coming out of CASAC throughout the year. All right, moving right along. Shake, Rumble, and Roll. It's going to be held on June 1st. It's a special event that's being sponsored by the Resource Center. In fact, it starts at the Resource Center on Dunham Avenue in Celeron. This is a motorcycle event. It takes you all the way up into Sunset Bay Beach Club in Silver Creek. Music, prizes, and fun. You check in about 8 o'clock. Rumble starts at 10. The grand finale party starts at 3 p.m. Registration is only $20. They give away $500 in prize money for best 5-card hand. I guess you pick up cards as you're moving along throughout the different rides, locations. There's different stop points, and you get a card. $300 for the best 3-card hand. Sounds like a lot of fun. All motorcyclists are welcome. If you want more information, give them a call at 661-1477. Again, the proceeds go to sponsor programs at the Resource Center. All right, now where am I? I did that one. Hang on a minute. Let me make sure I'm where I want to be. Okay, I took care of that. Yeah, I'm working on it. No, actually, I got to go to 5. Okay, so a reminder that starting on Saturday, June 8th, the Farmers and Artisans Market will be held in Westfield. That's starting up. I know, this is the whole Lincoln Festival rundown. Okay, so remember I talked about June 7th, you got all this stuff going on with Lincoln, and then on the 8th, they're gonna have all kinds of events. Lincoln visits the Grape Discovery Center. Lincoln gives a speech. There's gonna be stuff at the McClurg that evening on June 8th. There's a special fundraiser. Oh, I'm playing that one too. There's gonna be candlelight tours. There's gonna be a movie called Lincoln at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts throughout the day. And we'll talk more about this as we go along. But do check out what's going on for the Lincoln Festival. And then the following day, there's a Civil War service at St. Peter's right there in Westfield. And throughout the weekend, you're going to have the encampment of the Civil War, what do they call them? They're actors. And they're going to be reenacting what it's like to have lived and set up things there during the Civil War. Then my buddy Bob Terryberry, Adam Owens, who've both been on the show recently, they have a little a message for you. So I'm just going to read it. It says, "Hello, friends and family. You know who you are. There's a new theatrical production company in town, Hot Productions, H-O-T, and it's featuring Bob Terryberry, Adam Owens, and Adam Hughes. So it's T for Terryberry. Their letters of their names, Hughes, Owens, and Terryberry. That's how you get hot. The goal as a company is to offer an evening of original theater with cast, crew, and audience having an enjoyable experience. Their first offering is scheduled in May and in June, and they wanted you to know all the facts so that you can join them at one of their productions. They'll be performing 3 original one-act plays on Wednesday evenings, May 22nd and 29, and then again on June 5 and 12. Collectively, the 3 plays are called Dinner at Chautauqua. Sounds interesting. The shows will be presented on the stage of the Labyrinth Press at 12 East 4th Street. If you haven't been there, it's a really cool place. If you have, it's a small stage, and the room is small, and the seating is limited, but it's a great venue. It's a lot of fun. If you're interested, give them a call at 708-2471. Tickets are $20. We'll talk more about it as we get closer to that. All right, I think I'm on the last page. All right, real quick. Charity Golf Classic, June 14th. Mark your calendars. United Way of Northern Chautauqua County, $110 a person. So if you sign up quick, you can get in early. That's coming up, and then we're going to skip that. We got 2 more things. Let's go to slides. The last 2 slides, Jeff. We have a 5-day Writers Challenge, and we're going to pop that up here. I think this next to the last slide. All right, and this is going to be held at the Patterson Library, and all I can tell you is that this is going to be something that John Daly's involved with that was on last week, and it's going to be held from June 10th to the 14th, and if you're interested, go to the library and find out more information. How's that? And then last one is drinking habits, and that's going to be a play that's going to be held today and then next weekend as well. Today, tomorrow, I'm sorry. The 4th, the 10th, and 11th to 7 p.m., and then May 5 at 2 p.m. right there in Westfield at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts. And it's supposed to be a lot of fun. And for tickets, give them a call at 224-2135. All right, that's it for now. I've run over my time. This is a short break, a little bit of a commercial for you, a public service announcement, and we'll be right back.
I'm not trained to do that kind of stuff. I never thought I had it in me. I didn't think I had the time. But then I took the first step. Is there a fire in you? Volunteer at www.fireinYou.com.
Okay, we're back, and I want to welcome back Greg Carlson, who is, let me get your title right, the Director of Veteran Services for Chautauqua County. This is not the Veterans Administration, as we always point out, but you're the guys that help people work with the Veterans Administration.
Correct.
Did I get that right?
You got that absolutely right.
All right. So, Greg, you've been with the agency now, what, about 3-4 years? Right?
Well, hard to believe I'm 3 years. So this is my third pre-Memorial Day show, and I've done 3 Veterans Days. It doesn't seem real.
I know.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Well, I got to tell you, I always look forward having you on the show because my heart is always with veterans, it seems, and because of we've had 3 generations of veterans in our family that are still kicking and still needing help from time to time. And I told you before we went on the air that I don't think a week goes by that I don't talk to someone about veterans or veterans benefits, and I can answer some of them their questions because of you guys, because of what you tell me here on the show.
Well, that's great.
And so how about the elevator speech for those that are listening? Because I know that there are people listening for the first time perhaps, or will see this video for the first time. What do you all do there? Because there's 3 of you, right?
Oh, so this is a great opportunity. Chautauqua County is a great place to be a veteran. And I'll tell you why. We have such great veteran advocates and such great access to the VA. A very small county, yet we have 2 community-based outpatient clinics for the VA, one in Dunkirk, one in Jamestown. But our crew of folks, okay, so I'm very lucky to be the Director of Veteran Services, and I have probably the best crew you could have. Dave Adams, he is our Dunkirk Veteran Service Officer. So go out and see him if you're in the Dunkirk area and you're interested in veterans benefits. In the Jamestown office, we have myself and Mike Rao.
Mike the Bear.
Yes, Mike has been.
Did he grow his beard back?
He's kind of half beard. I think he's
Okay.
goatee right now. He's been with the Veteran Service Agency for 12 years now, and very, very knowledgeable veteran service officer. Of course, we have Carrie Finnerty. In addition to managing our office, she also does all the burial benefits for veterans, and she has the inside link with all the funeral homes. I know right where to go anytime any veteran family has questions concerning that. We also have a state representative. We're very lucky to have Troy Smith. Now, he's not part of the Chautauqua County Veteran Service Agency, but he is a New York State employee who does essentially the same thing. He's a veterans benefit advisor.
Where's he housed?
He's co-located with the clinic in Jamestown. So we're on one side of the building and he is on the other.
Okay. I think this is the first time we've talked about Troy.
And we have the private first class Dwyer program,
Right.
and our program coordinator, Cindy Reedy.
Cindy Reedy. She's been on the show.
So for a small population-wise county like Chautauqua County, the access to veterans and veterans programs is just amazing.
You know, I was doing the math the other day, getting ready for this show. It takes me a while to do the math.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw there's like 127,000 people in Chautauqua County.
Correct.
Right? And you told me that we have somewhere in the area of 11,000 veterans. Is that number still holding?
That is correct.
That's almost 10%.
Yes. So
That's a lot of people.
if you look at the rest of the country,
Yeah.
the rest of the country is at about 5 to 7%. So Chautauqua County, we have a high percentage of veterans, and I think that's part of the reason it is such a good county to be a veteran in. It's very patriotic. You have a lot of people who have served, and it doesn't matter what walk of life they're from. Every place I've ever been in Chautauqua County, people are overwhelmingly gracious to vets.
Absolutely. My father-in-law, Bill Molson, he always wears his hat. He was in the Navy, and it has his ship's name on there. And I don't care where we are, if we're just walking down the street or at a restaurant or wherever, people always say, "Thank you for your service, thank you for your service." I mean, people are very, very appreciative of what our veterans have done.
Oh, it's a great, people here are so gracious, and that's,
Yeah.
I always feel like I got so lucky when I retired from the military and fell into this job, because it's nothing but, for the most part, positive. I mean, that's, everywhere I go, we're well received. We get to help veterans, and the community really embraces veterans, so it's really nice.
I'm not a veteran, but I know enough veterans that they're sitting here listening right now, and they say, "Well, all right, so like, what did you do?" You know, like, you got to kind of, tell people what you did in the service. So, like, what makes you a veteran? What did you do?
What did I do? Oh, my
you,
personal
you,
career?
you,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So, well,
You got to prove yourself here now to these guys.
so I was in the Air Force for 20 years.
20 years? You don't
20
look that
years,
old.
Well, thank you.
Really?
And to be quite honest with you, I
Please
couldn't keep a job. So in the Air Force, so I worked in many different career fields. When I was 18, I joined right out of high school, and I was a security policeman. So I spent my first 5 years in the Air Force as, I think, military police, security police. They're called security forces now.
Mm-hmm.
Things change with the times, and the names change. After I finished my tour with security forces, I became a recruiter, and I was actually living in Warren. Well, I was living in Chautauqua County, but I was the Warren County, just our neighbors to the south, recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for 3 years. I was fortunate enough, the Air Force paid for my education. And when I finished my undergraduate degree, I went to officer training school, and I was commissioned as a second lieutenant. And I was a air weapons officer and air surveillance officer on the E3, the AWACS, the big Boeing 707 with the radar dish on the top. And then I couldn't keep that job either,
Mm-hmm.
so they sent me to be with the Army. The Air Force said, I've had enough of you, and I went to Air Liaison Officer.
Wow.
And was with 10th Mountain Light Infantry. I was part of an Air Force squadron, but we were supporting an
Overseas?
Army. No, we did go deploy to Afghanistan, but
Mm-hmm.
the 10th Mountain Division is at Fort Drum, New York,
Oh, yeah.
just up the road.
Up
And I was
north.
part of the 20th Air Support Operations Squadron there.
Wow.
And then retired, and right at that time, retired full bird Colonel Gary Chilcott was retiring from
Yes, yeah.
his position here, and it just worked out beautifully. And best job
You're a
I've
colonel?
ever had. So what's that?
You're a retired
No,
colonel?
he's a retired.
Oh, what
colonel.
was your-
I was a lowly major when I retired.
A lowly
so
major.
that's
Major's
right.
good.
Yeah, that was
Major.
good. No, it was a great career, and really, I think my career prepared me to do this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was both enlisted and an officer. I was in several different career fields. I worked with the Army and the Air, so I really got a lot of different experiences that has helped me relate to all the vets who come in
Yeah.
and see us.
My
So
dad was in the Army Air Force back in World War II, because you all were one,
yes,
which kind of made me scratch my head. And I remember saying to my dad, "What are you talking about? It's either the Army or the Air Force."
it was the Army Air Corps.
Because they
yeah.
didn't even have a really big Air Force at the time, and they built it up during World War II, I guess. But then they split off, I guess, after in the
47.
47. Yeah,
September of 1947, the Air Force became a
yeah,
independent service. So we're the youngest of them all.
yeah, you are. So you mentioned you're retired now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do a plug for my own son. And I think I mentioned it here a while back. My son just retired from the Army Special Forces.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't live around here, so he's not going to watch the show, so I can talk about him. But one of the things that is interesting to me is watching him now in his life as he transitions from Army to civilian life and to other work, just like you did. What are the things you'd like newly discharged, honorably discharged service personnel to know here in Chautauqua County that maybe they didn't know or should know? You know, as far as benefits, services, what should they do? What's a natural thing? Should they register? Should they come see you? What should they do?
So there's a couple of things. Regardless of whether you served 2 years or 32 years, you should come in and check out what benefits you're eligible for. And every veteran is completely different, and every case is completely different. So you may be minimally eligible for benefits, or you may qualify for the full amount, but you're not going to know unless you come in and see somebody, and that's all we do. So 40 hours a week, all of the veteran advocates that we do benefit. So I've had so many veterans come in that say to me, I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. I wish I would have done this 20 years ago.
Why?
I wish
Why?
Because they don't realize that any benefits were even available to them.
So they've lost time and money, probably.
Or they feel as if I do this, I'm taken away from somebody who
Yeah,
really,
you've talked
truly
about
needs
that.
it.
Yeah, like there's a pot of money that's just limited or something.
Yeah, and that's really not what it's for. The Department of Veterans Affairs exists for people who serve their country. So the health care, the compensation, the pension, that is all designed for people who serve their country.
And that was the deal when you put your
that was the
hand
deal
up
when
and
you go around.
took your oath.
So you are not taking anything from anybody. And the reason for that is, like I said, different veterans are going to qualify for different benefits. So obviously somebody who just utilizes VA health care is not going to take away from someone who uses health care and also receives compensation. I mean, it's dependent upon various factors. So you're only going to be able to receive what you qualify for.
Okay, so now people watch the show on YouTube, so they could be watching it anywhere from in the world. So let's just say let's just go across the border to Pennsylvania. Are there Greg Carlsons in Pennsylvania?
There are. So most places in the country have veteran service officers, but I will say this. In the state of New York, it's very professionalized, okay? So part of our state constitution is that every county has a full-time veteran service representative that takes care of the vets.
Oh.
We have annual training. We have accreditation process. We have a lot of things that make us a very professionalized veteran advocacy group.
All right, so important point that you just made that I've never heard you say before. We get deeper and deeper in the weeds. Do you know that?
Every time.
So if you lived in Chautauqua County, they registered with you or they've been doing things like that, and they moved, let's say, to Cattaraugus County, then you could just hand them off to somebody over there, right?
Absolutely, but what I've found is a lot of times if somebody finds a service officer that they're comfortable with, we're here to serve the residents of Chautauqua County, but we've actually had people call us from out of state that are linked to someone in our county, said, hey.
Well, my son could do that, right?
Yeah, it said, hey, we're just not able to, and they say, we're not able to get a hold of someone here. I call and call and call, and they don't respond to our phone call. Or the first time they can get me in for an appointment is 2 months from now. And we just are so accessible here that we do actually get, I don't know how, I can't put a frequency on it because it's intermittent, but we get calls from people all over the country that say, hey, you helped my brother, my cousin, uncle, aunt out with benefits, and they said you did a really nice job for us. I have a few questions. Do you have some time? And we certainly will answer questions, and we'll even do a claim for someone, if the situation dictates it.
Okay, so then Veteran Services of Chautauqua County are being funded by New York State.
No, so the Veteran Service Agency, we're part of the county,
Okay.
So same pot of money that all the other, the Office for the Aging, the department, and of course we have grants and different things that come from around. But yeah, we're civil service employees. But what's really nice, and one of the reasons that the Chautauqua County Veteran Service Agency and all veteran service agencies exist is to offset the cost to the state of programs like Medicaid. Because a lot of the benefits that we're able to get for veterans, we're replacing what would be state dollars or local dollars with federal dollars. So we are actually, for a small group of people, we produce a lot of revenue for Chautauqua County. Because if a veteran comes in and they file a compensation claim and they're awarded 30 or 40 or 50% and they get a monthly stipend, what do they do with that money? They go out and they buy cars and they pay property taxes and they go out to restaurants and they shop. And this is money that wouldn't, had they maybe not met with a service officer and realized they qualified for the benefit, would have never happened. Or if you have someone, an older vet or surviving spouse that's going to assisted living or a nursing home and maybe isn't able to pay out of pocket and has to go on Medicaid, through our non-service connected pension programs, we're able to either keep them in their home for longer or put them in a situation where they can choose where to stay and they don't have to go on Medicaid. And that saves the state and saves the county a lot of money. So there is actually a business side to it, because a lot of folks are like, oh, so what do you guys really do for veterans? Well, we do a lot for veterans, but we also do a lot for the county and we do a lot for the state.
Okay, super. Now, you mentioned something just now that got my ears to perk up. Non-service pension?
Okay.
What is that?
So a service-connected disability, think of an injury or illness that happened in the line of duty, okay? And then you can receive compensation for that. That is not a needs-based program. That is something, any veteran who is injured. Non-service connected pension means that there's money that a veteran can receive if they serve during, so it's the veteran or surviving spouse who served during a war era, okay, don't have to serve in the war, a war era. And it's a needs-based program, and it's usually for older veterans and surviving spouses who need assistance with a task of daily living, but it is a monthly monetary stipend that's not connected to a service-connected disability. So that's why they call it non-service connected pension.
It's a different pot of money then.
Yeah,
All right,
correct.
so let's dig a little deeper, because I want to tell you, as sad as it is, I know lots of folks, the veteran has passed away, and the spouse is sitting there going, now what am I going to do? And they're aging out. They were supportive of that veteran while they were enlisted, or they moved around the country or whatever. So what benefits are there for the surviving spouse?
So it's always case by case.
Right.
And the good thing is, if somebody is what we call in receipt, so if there's a veteran that is receiving either compensation or pension and they pass away, the first thing that Carrie does when she gets the death certificate and starts doing their burial benefits is checks to see if they qualify for one of our programs, whether it's survivor's pension or something called dependency and indemnity compensation. So if a veteran is 100% disabled or dies as a result of their service-connected disability, then the spouse is eligible for a continued financial amount. So,
Do you find that that is a well-known benefit? I mean, I want to promote it here.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Okay, yes and no. So people who are affiliated with the Veteran Service Agency and veterans who are in receipt, they're receiving benefits, usually they know about it because obviously their husband, or in some cases their wife, has been in contact with the VA. So we make sure that they're taken care of. Here's where a lot of people don't realize that they might be eligible for a benefit, and they're shocked when it happens. And I'll give an example. I can't use names, of course.
Of course.
So Marine Corps, and from 1953 to 1987, Camp Lejeune had contaminated drinking water.
Oh boy.
And there's all different, there's I think 8 diseases the VA recognizes, and they're not good diseases to have, recognizes are associated with that contaminated drinking water, okay? So this just came to be, I would say, in 2015 that they actually had the list that they recognize. Well, you have a Marine who served in the 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s, let's say, and they develop one of these and pass away from one of these 8 conditions. I had a young lady come in to me and say, I got this in the mail. I don't know if it's worth anything, but my husband died of one of the types of cancers that is associated, and he was at Camp Lejeune. Am I eligible for any benefits? And sure enough, the death certificate had the cause of death as being one of the presumptives. We were able to prove his service at Camp Lejeune, and she qualified for DIC, and that's basically $1,500 a month, tax-free, along with Champ VA healthcare. Not VA healthcare, this is different, this is actual insurance. Champ VA healthcare for the rest of her life. And had no, she literally just came in because, hey, I got this thing in the mail about the contaminated water at Camp Lejeune. So sometimes you have folks that were not previously, her husband was never associated with the VA when he was alive.
Okay. And I was thinking of my own parents. My dad never stepped foot in the VA ever. Fortunately, he had great insurance, had a great job, never did anything with it. Had he preceded my mother in death, she probably would never have known what benefits she had. And we, as kids, probably would not have had the knowledge to look into those kinds of things on her behalf. And so I guess the message right now, everybody is watching and listening, if you are a surviving spouse of a veteran and you've never had any connection to the VA, I would recommend giving you guys a call. So let's get some phone numbers out there.
And a lot of times it's just informational.
Yeah, so let's get some phone numbers right now out to them. So in Dunkirk, who would they call?
They would call Dave Adams.
Okay.
And his number is 716-268-6030.
Okay. And that's Dave. Okay.
That is Dave.
And then on you guys.
Yeah, our number in Jamestown is 716-661-8255.
Okay. And you guys are open, what, 8 to 4?
Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. But I tell you what, we try to accommodate veterans as much as possible. So if warranted, if a vet is struggling with some health issues, we do home visits. So we've actually done appointments and gone to some.
Super.
And then also we'll make time in the evening or earlier in the morning. If you have a vet who's working, a lot of times it's hard to get there between those hours. We'll do an appointment at 5:30. That's not standard, but we try to accommodate. So don't think, oh, it's 8:30 to 4:30. We can never get. Give us a call and we'll set something.
Make an appointment. Okay, we got a phone call, folks.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Just give us a call at 753-5225, and this caller did that. So good morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Greg. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Greg, thank you for your tremendous sacrifice that you made for all of us and for our country. It's greatly appreciated. There's just no greater task in the world.
Thank you.
You know, we all really appreciate it, and it was good to hear you mention this morning that the people in this area are most appreciative too. I know they are. We have a lot of veterans here.
We do.
Yeah,
Yes.
over 11,000.
Yeah, and they are a priority of service in the senior employment program.
Oh, that's great.
You know, we're to serve a veteran first before anyone else,
Well,
and I'm glad that that's the way that has been set up.
Greg was just saying it's a good place to be if you're a veteran. So there's another example.
Absolutely.
So what kind of programs or jobs do you have for veterans, Lynn?
Well, it's whatever they're interested in. You know, we talk to all of our interested parties about what they would like to target. It depends upon what they're interested in. And, of course, we do this with everybody. And I think I've mentioned this previously. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
And you focus in on occupational areas based upon your previous experience. And it might even be volunteer work or a hobby that you can transfer into some kind of occupation. And then we move from there. It's all based upon what the interest and needs are of the participant. Our program is centered on the participant that comes to us.
Excellent. Do you guys work together? I mean, do you refer?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact,
yeah.
we've had the Veteran Service Agency have had various senior aides that have worked with us
Beautiful.
over the years.
Oh, that
Yes.
seems like a natural good thing.
And
Great.
we see each other at the Jamestown office for
We do,
evening.
very
At
frequently,
the
yes.
building where the veterans are. We're
Very
together.
frequently.
Okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
super.
We're co-located with Office for the Aging, and we have senior aides that work there, and she comes regularly and visits and does her business, and
Makes her
always
rounds.
good to see her.
All right.
It's always good to be there and to see everybody from the Veterans Administration. I just put somebody on as a transport aide who's a veteran.
Great.
Very
And
nice.
He got a lot of help from Kerry getting the proper documentation. We need documentation for our files to verify. I wanted to mention that May is Older Americans Month.
Yes, it is. I have a note here that you mentioned it last month or last
Yes.
week.
And there is going to be a job fair for anybody of any age that's being put on by Chautauqua Works. It will be at the Clarion Hotel this Wednesday, May 8th, from 9:30 to 11:30. And they always put on an excellent job fair. I have seen people get job interviews right on the spot and even get hired as a result of it. It's the people who are there are looking to hire someone. So everyone who is even thinking about it should go.
And this is
Next
for
Wednesday.
older adults?
Older adults, anybody of any age.
Oh, any age.
Yeah, but I've contacted all of our senior workers to go there, the ones who live in the Dunkirk, Mayville area.
Okay, terrific. All right. So, are you enjoying the spring weather?
I am. I love the fog. You know, we had a fog on Thursday.
Yeah.
Fog is a cloud on the ground,
Yes, it is.
and I always feel kind of like it's ethereal, or I'm in some kind of mystic world. The fog is out there.
It does have a special feel, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. Anything else, Lynn?
No, but have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
calling.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, so it just keeps on going, doesn't it? As far as the connectivity here in Chautauqua County, and it's always that myth that there's no jobs. Everybody I've talked to says there's all kinds of jobs. Now, it may not be your ideal job, but there's jobs to be had.
Well, one of the things that's very interesting in Chautauqua County right now is there's actually more jobs than qualified workforce in many respects. So,
Wow.
and that's a conversation for another day.
Another day.
But there's absolutely lots of job opportunities out there for people who want to work.
So let's go back to my little story about someone that's just discharged from the service. And do you help them with job placement or anything like that?
So we have, some official things that we do, and our official job is to connect veterans with VA benefits. However, we do a little bit of everything. So if a vet comes in, and anytime we know of jobs where they're looking for someone, we advertise it on our Facebook page. We'll certainly let folks. I had a young veteran come in, and I had gotten this advertisement that they were offering Postal Service exams, worked him for benefits, and then, oh, by the way, he got a job as a mail carrier. So, I mean, it was one of those, he did that, he got the, but we gave him the information because we had access to it. So, on a new person who just leaves the military, a few things. Continue to serve your family and your county, and here's some ways you can do that. Come to see us, and when you come to see us, okay, make an appointment to go to the county clerk's office.
Okay.
And
county clerk's office.
Yeah, the county clerk's office.
All right. Why are they going to go there?
So that they can get your DD 214 and put it on record.
Oh.
Now you think to yourself, well, what's the value in that? That you don't know how many times we want to work benefits for a surviving spouse, and they say, oh, we just don't have his discharge papers. And then sure enough, you check with the county clerk's office, and 1948 they took their DD 214, or at that time it was the World War II era discharge papers, and they filed it with the county clerk, and now you have that record, and that's how we keep track of how many veterans we have and some of the different things there.
I was wondering how you knew that.
So, so that's one of the things that is really an important thing to do. Okay, think of it like a civic duty, almost like voting. Let us know that you're a veteran and you reside in our county. If you're eligible for VA health care, even if you have fantastic insurance, you're never going to use it. Enroll in healthcare, because the clinic depends upon the numbers to be there. So the more people we have enrolled, the better support we get. The
All
more
right,
staffing we
I
get.
can hear the questions in my head from all my listeners and viewers right now. Why would you enroll for the VA's health benefits when they got good insurance? So what does that mean with deductibles and coverage?
One is independent of the other, because VA healthcare is a provider. It's not an insurance.
Okay.
And your only requirement...
So it'd be like going to another doctor then?
Correct. Your only requirement to stay active in VA healthcare is that you do your once-a-year physical.
Okay.
So once a year you do a physical, but here's what's beautiful about that. You never know what's going to happen to you in your life. You just don't. You don't know when you're going to have an accident or a catastrophic injury or an unexpected illness. And if you are already enrolled in the VA system, the number of things that they can do for you and your family is too countless to go into here, because every case is different. But I have people who come in and say, man, I wish I would have known about this a long time ago. Or when someone gets to the point where they really are incapacitated for one reason or another, and they don't have their DD 214 because they never filed it with the county, they never enrolled in healthcare, and then their family is trying to do everything from scratch.
Yeah.
So that's why we say, make it easier on yourself and your family. You may not need it now, but there might come a point where you do. And if you are already enrolled, and if you've already got your documentation that you need, it makes it so much easier for your family to take care of you in the event something like that happens. Or you yourself, when you get to a point where you maybe want to change jobs or you're looking to retire, you're not starting from scratch. You already have this built into your future plan. It gives you a lot more flexibility.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It really does. Now, let's say you register with the county clerk with your DD 214.
Right.
And you move to Buffalo. Do you have to register with their clerk?
You probably should, but you don't have to.
Because you're already on...
But I mean, that's probably a common thing to do. But it's just good that wherever you're at to have it on file, because if you're going to reside in a new place, the same things apply.
So you're registering, here I am.
So, hey, this happened to this veteran. We don't have a copy of their DD 214. A lot of people think we can just go online and get one. It's really not that way. We get them usually from county clerk's office, so if someone doesn't have one on hand.
Okay, question. So there's a VA hospital in Buffalo. There's one in Erie. So can you go to any VA hospital in the country, or how's that work?
That's as a rule, okay, you are enrolled in a healthcare system.
Okay.
So whether that's the Western New York healthcare system, where you use the Jamestown Community-Based Outpatient Clinic, or you use the VA hospital in Buffalo. However, if you are traveling and you have your VA card and you have to go to an emergency room or an urgent care type place, and there's a VA facility that offers those, like Erie, for example, the Erie, PA VA Medical Center, they don't have an emergency room, but they have an urgent care, where you can be a veteran from anywhere, walk in with your VA ID card, and get treated. The Buffalo Hospital has an emergency room. You can be from anywhere visiting Buffalo and go into the emergency room. So as a rule, you get your care in whatever system you're in. So if you wanted to go to the local clinic just for a checkup and you're not registered there, they're not going to make an appointment for you.
Okay.
But the emergency rooms, the urgent cares, that you can do.
Okay. You know, this was sort of one of those epiphanies. Buffalo VA is a hospital.
It is a hospital, correct.
Erie is a medical center.
center.
It's different.
It's different.
Okay.
So, and I can't give you the exact services, but like if you go to the Erie VA Medical Center, they don't have an emergency room, but they have an urgent care.
They don't do a lot of.
They don't
big
perform surgeries there. They
They'll
would
send
send
you
people to Pittsburgh.
Or wherever.
They would send you to Pittsburgh VA.
Right.
For within the VA system. They have so there they'll have like gastroenterology and cardiology and a lot of your specialties that you're not going to have at a clinic.
Right.
But it's not a full-fledged Buffalo is a full-fledged hospital. Not only is it a full-fledged hospital, it's a teaching hospital. So the University of Buffalo, a lot of docs, top doctors in the area have rights there.
Okay.
And a lot of the UB medical students get a unique opportunity to serve the veteran community there. So.
Okay, another question. We're running out of time as always, but I just noticed on TV, because I get a great joy at tearing up commercials and things like that. And the latest thing is, and I want you to join me on this conversation, is if you had these earplugs during these years and you suffer from tinnitus or whatever it's called, tinnitus, you can put a claim in. What's that all about? Is it real or is it a scam?
I mean, it's real, but chances are the people who wear those earplugs are already going to qualify because there is a list. It's a hazardous noise exposure list. If you were an artilleryman, if you were a jet engine mechanic, if you were in one of those positions where you get those earplugs, the VA already concedes that you were exposed to hazardous noise. So if you have hearing loss or tinnitus, chances are we can get that service connected for you.
All right.
That's not, that's not true in every single case, but yes, it is a real thing. It is another avenue to service connection.
But are these scams where they want you to call them and get involved with tort law and all that stuff? I mean, if you say no comment, that's fine. But I
don't want to say something I don't know about.
Okay.
I want to think that if there's these commercials that are out there, that they're trying to help veterans in some way.
Okay.
I want to think that, but I can't confirm it because
I suspect they're lining their own pockets. But go ahead.
I can't confirm it. All I know is this: we are civil servants, and our job is to link vets with benefits. So if someone came in and said, "I use those earplugs," I would research. But in most cases, if someone comes in who would have used those earplugs, they would have been in a job that exposed them to hazardous noise, and I wouldn't even need to go that route in order to prove that.
So if you have trouble with your ears, check with these guys first. Memorial Day is coming up, and we got about a minute left. Anything you want to talk about? Any special programs going on?
So Memorial Day is always a great time here in Chautauqua County. It kicks off summer. And I can tell you on a personal note, now that I've been in this job for 3 years, Memorial Day becomes more meaningful to me every year.
Profound.
Because of the veterans, I get to know their families, I get to know them, their service, and unfortunately they're passing, and every time I do a benefit for someone and then Carrie gets their death certificate, it takes a little piece of you. So Memorial Day, just every year, the meaning of it becomes more and more profound.
How about the phone numbers one more time for everybody?
Actually, can I do one thing instead of the phone numbers?
Sure.
So the Military Makeover Show, hosted by Montel Williams.
Oh, yes.
They're featuring a house here in Asheville. The unveiling is going to be May 9th, and I will get you the information when that's actually going to air on TV. But you can see Chautauqua County highlighted by Montel Williams on the Military Makeover Show.
I forgot about that. Okay. 268-6030-661-8255.
You got it.
Okay. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. Greg Carlson, the Director of Veteran Services in Chautauqua County, has been my guest. Guys, gals, if you've been involved with the service or you're a spouse, give these guys a call. Register with your county clerk and get the benefits that you so generously deserve. All right, take care. We'll see you next week right here on Access Chautauqua I'm Doc Hamels. Have a great weekend.
Good job.
Excellent.